to your right side facing the camera and start in child's pose, whatever version you prefer. And just breathe deeply into the back of the body. Separate your knees so your belly can expand with the inhale. Exhale, feel yourself sinking down into child's pose. Okay, come slowly up to hands and knees and do some cat-cow. Inhaling as you slowly arch inward with your chest. Exhaling as you slowly round back. You're on your hands and knees. Adjust so your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Move slowly. Make your breath slow. Be in control of your breath. Be in control of your movement. Make them work together as much as you can. This is a simple one to practice. Moving with the breath. Inhaling as your belly goes down, your low back arches inward. Exhale as you round up like a Halloween cat. Now come back to a neutral spine and do a cat balancing. Right arm straight forward, left leg straight back. Hold the pose. It's a great warm-up for the whole back side of the body. Try not to lift your heel higher than your buttock muscle. Daddy head. Your arm is reaching straight forward from the shoulder, parallel. Both of them are parallel to the floor as much as possible. Lower down, change sides, please. Always change sides slowly, as you know. Always move into whatever pose it is, slowly, mindfully feeling your way into it, knowing how far you should go, paying attention to what the body feels. And as it loosens up, you might go to go further, at least in a stretch pose. Lower down. One more warming up. Well, here, warming up. Shift your left hand a little bit out to the left. Lean over to the left. Lift your right leg and your right arm. Try not to be too sideways, but if you need to be, that's okay. And if you lose your balance, lower your hand and your arm and shift your feet a little bit more, or your leg, and try it again. Don't just fall over. Although it's not far to fall. It's a little fall. Not a big fall. Lower down. Shift your right hand a little bit out to the right so you can shift over that way as you lift your left arm and your left leg. Hold it. Lower down, sit back in child's pose again. Separate your knees. And back up to hands and knees. Now let's do it this way this time. Hands and knees, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and move your hands just a little bit forward so they're at an angle. Not a big angle. Believe me, you don't want a big angle, just a little bit. And don't move your hands back. Keep them there. Curl your toes under. Push back to downward dog. Right, press one heel to the mat as you bend the other knee. Lift both heels up. And then press the other heel to the mat. And then both heels up. Keep alternating, warming and stretching the legs. Warming the shoulders. Remember, don't move your hands back toward your feet. Keep them at a little. And if this works for you, I mean, it should. Triangle should be this. Hands a little bit forward when you start, not directly under your shoulders. It makes bowing dog and a lot of other ones much easier. Try to remember to adjust your hands a little forward when you go into downward dog in the future if we do it from hands and knees. Now both heels toward the mat. Press back. Don't walk your hands back. Just push against the mat. Press back. Get that upside down V. That's why in Kundalini Yoga, downward dog is called triangle pose. It's a triangle. They don't do the other ones, so. Slowly and mindfully lift your right leg up. Try not to tilt over to the side. We're not going to do the hip part this time. Just lift your right leg up. Keep both hips equally facing downward. Lunge that right foot forward. However you have to do it. 2 or 3 steps. Pulling it up with your hand. Make sure you get it so your knee is over your heel, your knee joint is over your heel, your shin is straight up and down. Hold the lunge. Lift your chest. Press your back heel toward the mat. Lower that back knee down if this is too strong. Left hand down on a block, on the mat, whatever works for you. Right hand up, straight out from the shoulder, not pulling back on the shoulder. Don't do a pull on the front of the shoulder. Try to rotate the whole rib cage. Face to the right. Hold the pose. Revolved side angle, not extended. Lengthen your spine. Don't let yourself round in this pose. Keep your spine long and straight. Lower your right hand back down. Take your right foot back up into the air, 3-legged dog. Lower your right foot back to the mat. Lower to your knees and stretch back in child's pose. Come back up to hands and knees. Get that good alignment, your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Then move your hands a little bit forward so there's a slight angle. Curl your toes under and push back to downward dog. Slowly lift your left leg up without lifting your left hip. Hold it just a little bit. Lunge that left foot forward. Make sure you get it up there, foot flat. Hands on a block, 2 blocks, whatever you use, or just on the mat. Lift your chest, flatten your back. Press the right heel toward the mat. Just to get a little stretch in the back leg, hold it. When your right hand stays down, you can adjust it, a little closer to the foot or not, whatever. Lift your left arm slowly up. Please don't swing it up. Lengthen your spine. Don't push back with your hand behind your shoulder. Don't feel a pull on the front of your shoulder. Lengthen your spine. Hold the pose. Right hand on the block is great for this one. Revolved side angle, not extended. Slowly lower your left hand down. Turn center. Since we started with the right side facing the camera, your head should be facing the camera now. Stretch straight down. Or just hang there, interlace your arms. You can turn your toes out away from each other a little bit if you want. Hold the forward bend, wide forward bend with a stretch. Tighten your abs. Pull your abs in. Take your arms slowly out to the side. You slowly come up, flat back, arms overhead. Release. Turn both feet, all toes pointing forward. Unless you do a different version of triangle with the back foot turned out a little bit or in, however you do it. Inhale, arms up, right foot out, except we're not going to do triangle. Bend the right knee. Lean over and reach your arm past the top of your head. I usually do it by bending my elbow, taking it, but it's straight. It's not curved down. It's straight and active. Try to make your back straight. Try to line up your shoulders. I just pushed a little bit into my right leg to help my left ribs turn toward the back of the body a little bit. Hold the pose. Now reach your left arm up to the ceiling. tighten those muscles. Pull yourself up with your left arm. Bring your right arm up and do reverse warrior. Watch that right knee. Don't let it tilt into the big toe side. Left hip can come forward. As far as this everything goes, the knee is more important than trying to force the left hip back. You can have your left arm on your hip, slide it down your leg, wrap it around behind you, whatever works. This arm is active, but it is bent. Curve back a little bit. Hold it. While back being to the left. As you slowly straighten out your right leg, bring your arms straight out, shift your hips, tilt your pelvis, and come down into your version of triangle today. You put your hand on a block in front, hand on a block behind. Try to line up straight. Try not to be leaning forward unless you need to do that for backs. Again, don't push your shoulder back. Rotate the ribs to make them straight sideways. Hold the pose. And as you feel muscles loosen up, as this pose becomes more comfortable, see if you can slide just a little bit further down into the pose. Tilt your pelvis just a little bit more. The right hip goes in and down. The left hip goes out a little bit and up. Don't just curve your spine down into a triangle. Tilt the pelvis. Again, tighten the muscles in your left hand. Pull yourself up. Turn both feet forward. Come to center. Swan dive to a forward bend. And just hang there and rest for a moment. Tighten your abs. Take your arms out to the side. Flatten your back. And then come all the way up. Arms up. Turn your left foot out. You can reach your right arm here in the beginning. Bend your left knee. Extended side angle to the left. Check your knee. Check your back leg. Push into the outer edge of the back foot. Realign the ankle. Reach this arm. Rotate the whole torso. Don't just pull back with your arm, your shoulder. Hold it. Keep your spine long. Lengthen it. That'll help with your alignment. Keep your abs a little bit active. Support your torso. We're going to freeze for a moment. Hold the pose. Now reach your right arm up. Pull yourself up. Keep your left knee bent. Go right into a reverse warrior. Check that left knee. It does tend to want to tilt in toward the big toe side. Put a little push so it doesn't happen. Try to keep the right knee straight. Push into the outer edge of the back foot, the right foot. Hold it. Be sideways, curving sideways. Hold the pose. Now as you come back up to straight, arms straight out, straighten your left leg, and triangle. Shift your pelvis, left hip down and in, right hip maybe a little bit out, but tilt the pelvis as much as you can. You can keep your back straight, sternum lifted, go sideways, not forward. Hold the pose. As you hold it, notice if it loosens up a little bit, if it starts to feel a little more comfortable. And just go 1/4 of an inch further down into the pose without going forward. Use your inhale to keep your spine long, to keep your shoulders back, to keep lined up with that front leg, left leg in this case. Again, tighten your right arm muscles. Pull yourself. If somebody has a hold of that hand up out of triangle, both feet turn forward. One dive to a forward bend. Hang there just a little bit. Feel the stretch. Okay, still standing wide. Toes turned out a little bit away from each other. Reach your right hand over the palm on the shin. You can be right below the knee or further down toward the ankle. Wrap your fingers around the outside and the back of that left leg. Reach your left arm up. Pull your head down toward your left knee without bending your knee. This is a stretch. You don't want to bend your knee, you'll lose some of the stretch. Excuse me, only go as far as you can go. Maximize the stretch, make it challenging without sharp stabbing pains. Ever. This is a HathaYoga version of revolved triangle. So this is a twist. It stretches you unevenly. So pay attention to how you feel. And release. Do the same thing with the left hand around the front of the right shin, fingers circling around the outside of the right leg. Right arm up, pull your head gently down towards your right knee. Wherever it goes, hold the stretch. Eureka Springs was, well, don't go on a Monday or a Tuesday. If you haven't read my post on Facebook, many of the restaurants aren't open on Monday, just as is everywhere, even though that's a tourist spot. But and many of the stores aren't open on Monday. Nor do they open on Tuesday, many of them. There's no entertainment. I think that's COVID. So anyway, we came back early. Now it's okay. It was nice to have a little getaway. Okay, release. And come back to a wide forward bend. Stretch down. Come to hero's pose on your knees. You can sit on your heels or you can be all the way up. We're going to do camel versions. I do recommend if you have a block, you put a block between your thighs. It can be down. The block can be on the floor. It can be this way if it's on the floor, or it can be down, skinny side, not turned fat, right? Or this way, skinny way. And interlace your fingers behind your back. If you tend to have slippery hands, you could hold a strap. If you hold a strap, hold it with your palms facing out and your thumbs toward each other, not wrapping all around weird like. Or interlace. Let your palms go apart, your fingers stay together, squeeze your shoulder blades, squeeze inward on the block as you press your hips forward, look up toward the ceiling, arch your back, reach your hands down, past your buttocks. If you can, modify this for backs. Some people say this feels really good when they have back pain. Some, like me, it does not. At least my kind of back pain that I used to have, or when I get it. You're squeezing inward on the block so you don't feel pressure on the outer edges of your knees. Because your knees kind of want to go out because of the hips. You get outer pressure on your knees, IT band or whatever the heck it's called. And that's not a good thing. So you want to squeeze inward. If you don't have a block, just use your brain and your attention to your body and squeeze inward. Your legs are apart. You're squeezing inward as you go back. If that doesn't work, make your legs be more apart. Eventually, you won't have to worry about squeezing inward because that's the angle of the hips, especially for women. We angle out. Okay, release. And slowly go down to child's pose. You can remove the block slowly back to child's pose. Hold it. Now this next one is good from sitting on the heels. But if you can't sit on the heels nice and straight like this, if you have to lean forward and you're halfway up, don't do it. Start here. Otherwise, down. Look at yourself. Shoulders over hips. If you're here, it's because it might be hurting your knees. It might be hurting the tops of your feet, in which case, start up. Nice and straight. Lift your sternum. Chin back. Do it from here. Hands on your thighs. Reach one arm up. And if you're doing it from sitting, slowly come up as you reach one arm up. Press your hips forward. Squeeze inward a little bit. And slowly go back to your starting, whether it's up or down. Hands on your thighs. Slowly reach the arm up. Press the hips forward and lower the arm. Lower the hips. Position. Keep alternating. Squeeze inward so hard that it'll tighten your glutes. It'll prevent you from overarching, which is sometimes also a good thing. But you might want to arch more. So you might not want to tighten your glutes. So you might want to have your knees a little bit more apart. You don't have to squeeze inward. But you are pressing forward with your hips a little bit. Don't lean back. One more time, second side. And then go back to child's pose. Rest. And slowly come up and onto your belly. come up into Sphinx pose. Elbows under your shoulders. Fingers spread wide. Lift your chest. Try to keep your belly on the mat. This is hard on the low back. Move your elbows a little forward to make less of an arch in your low back. Don't sink into your shoulders. Keep your shoulders pressed down, your neck long. Hold it. Try to relax the glute muscles. However, if you tend to have low back pain and this kind of pose doesn't feel good, then tighten your glute muscles. And it'll support that area, the SI joint area, the low back area. If you tighten the glute muscles, you'll support that area and you won't overarch. You can also separate your feet a little bit more than hip distance. I'm running into things back there. Shoulders down, back a little bit. Chin back a little bit, not up. Back, look straight forward. Sink your belly down. Release your glutes if you're not squeezing them to protect your back. Bring your hands back so your fingertips are sort of lined up with the top of your shoulders, the end of your fingers, approximately. Adjust for your own length of arm and torso and everything. And come all the way up into a straight arm cobra. Sink down, your legs are down. Lift your chest. You can bend your elbows a little bit. You can bend them more to keep your hip, front of your hip and lower belly down if you feel it too much in your back. Now curl your toes under. Lift your legs off the mat. Lengthen your spine. Lift up. Open your heart forward. Downward, upward. Upward dog. Lower your knees and slowly work your way back. Child's pose, the opposite of all these back arching poses. Usually with scoliosis, this one is more doable because you're allowing the spine to lengthen as you lift. It's not stuck to the floor and unable to lengthen. Even the belly stuck to the floor makes this lengthening of the spine harder. Torso. So when you lengthen the torso, you can lengthen and straighten out the spine a little bit. Okay, come up to seated, cross-legged, left leg in front. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, reach forward. Exhaling slowly forward and then round down. Hold the stretch. Relax. Put your head on a block. Stack your arms. Put your head on your stacked arms. You can stack your fists. Put your forehead on your stacked fists. Whatever works. Or just hang. Tuck your chin. Let your neck stretch. If you're not all the way to the floor. You can get a better neck stretch if you're not all the way to the floor. So there are benefits. Slowly inhale your way up. And exhale, twist. Don't lean, just rotate. Twist to the left. Left hand behind you, close to you. Right hand on your left knee or thigh, just above the knee. Lengthen up. Once you get into the twist, make your spine long. Go to the back shoulder if it's okay with your neck. Otherwise, look straight ahead between your shoulders, which would be to the left, but not way back. Sit straight ahead. Hold the pose. As you get tired, you may slump. You may start to let your chest round, your back round. Pay attention to that. Keep the spine long. Right buttock is down as much as the left. Don't lift up. Let your right buttock stay down. Just lengthen your spine. Use your inhale to lengthen your spine, not to lift up your buttock. Stay flat. Just rotate on the pelvis, twisting the spine from the bottom up. Stay lengthened so your vertebrae are separated and they're not squeezing on the discs a lot. And you know, of course, if you have bulging or ruptured discs, you never do a seated twist. This, for example, you never do this. Come back to center. Right leg in front, cross-legged. Inhale, lengthen. You notice it on a blanket if you need to for hips and knees and back. And exhale, reach forward and down and stretch. Blanket folded. Or two blankets. Or pillow. Bed pillow is perfect. Two bed pillows if need be. Try. See what works for your body. You have to be careful of knees and hips and back. Let your inhale lift you slowly up. Allow your exhale to guide you in a twist to the right. Once you get into position with the twist, lift your sternum, your chest. Sink your left buttock back down. Lengthen your spine. Tuck your chin a little bit to lengthen the back of your neck. Tuck it down. Over the back shoulder. It's okay with your neck. Hold the pose. And come back to center, lie on your back with your knee bent, feet on the mat. Brush your right ankle on your left thigh like a guy sits in a chair. Like I sit in a chair too. Slowly lift your left leg up. You can hold behind on the hamstring. You can hold over the shin. If you tend to have right knee pain, flex your right foot, keep it flexed. The other alternative is to slide your right leg across so you're more knee to knee. Wrap your arms around the outside. The other alternative is to do it seated. Bring the right foot up. Do a rock the baby pose, supporting your knee with your hand around the outside of the knee. You can rock a little bit. So use whatever works for you to stretch the hip. Core is next at 11:15. You will have maybe a minute between when we start core and we end this. If you want to go get your weights, we'll do some things with weights. Release, change sides, left ankle crossed, flex the left foot if you need to, check the knee, and so on. Everything the same as we just did with the right leg crossed. All the other options are still available. One side is generally very different from the other, so do what works for your left hip. If you don't have weights, you can use a can of soup. 2 cans. Those little cans like Campbell's. Easier to hold a little can. And you most assuredly don't need to use weights. Everything we do is without weights. 10 more seconds. Excuse me. Okay, release. Hug your knees and rock for a little bit. We have maybe 30 seconds before core starts. Or go get your weights if you're going to use weights. Or cans of soup, or no weights. What's right for you today? Okay, start on your back with your knees bent. No weights. Arms overhead. You can bend your elbows. Your elbows are out to the side, arms overhead, or you can bend them so your elbows point up and your arms are overhead. We're not going to use weights for this because people have a tendency to do it incorrectly and hurt their shoulders. So just empty hands. You're going to try to keep your hands right above your head if you're bending your elbows, or if your arms are straight, keep your arms alongside your ears. It's difficult. Do the best you can. Remember to not let the low back arch up. Don't come up fast. And don't come up all the way. Look, lift up. See, my arms don't reach forward. See where my arms are. And if you're going it this way, your elbows stay out, your hands stay above your head. And come back down. 2. And back. 3. And back. Pull your abs in. Keep going. 4. And back. 5. And back. 6. 7, 8. Do it at the speed I'm counting. That means you get a little second of rest. That's okay. 9. And back. 10. And back. Take one of your weights. Or you could take both 2 weights. If you're taking one, you hold it between your hands on your belly, just below the ribs. 2, your hands are still together. Your weights are touching. I mean, your knuckles are touching, however you work. Keep your hands down as you slowly crunch up and back. 2, and back. 3. If you need to, release one of the weights. If you're using 2, put fingers behind your head. 4. 5. 6. When you go back, relax your neck for just a second. 7. 8. 9. 10. And move your hands down so that your weight is just above your navel. If you're using a weight, 1 weight, hold between 2 hands. 2 weights, knuckles are touching. You're right at the center line, just over the navel. And you're going to push into your heels. Push your low back down first. Lift your tailbone first. And then lift your hips. And then one vertebra at a time, starting at the topmost, round down till your back is flat. And relax for a moment. Your low back may lift a little bit, and then push your low back down. Lift from the tailbone up. Lift your hips. Don't arch up. Don't go past a nice straight line. Push your belly up to the ceiling, arching your back. We tend to think the further we go in stuff, the better. That is not the case. This is from yoga, even if it was from Pilates, and it is actually done in Pilates. The original Joseph Pilates, he took yoga as well. You don't arch up. This will straighten your back. You don't need to aggravate any back conditions by pushing up too far. 2 more times. Also straightens the glutes, which support the sacroiliac joints in the lower part of the spine. Release your weights, hug both knees in, rock a little bit. Come to seated with your knees bent, but your feet are out. They're not, knees aren't in close. Your feet are out. You give you counterbalance weight-wise. You can hold weight, a weight, or 2 weights. Cross your arms on your chest. If you have 1 weight, hold that 1 weight in the center of your chest. Tuck your chin, round back. Don't go all the way down. Go to where you can still catch yourself. Tighten your abs. Come back up. When you come up, lift, untuck your chin, but don't lift it. And straighten your back. Then tuck your chin, round back. Come slowly back up. At the top of the up, spine is straight, back of the neck is straight. Keep moving slowly, mindfully, primarily upper abs. Adding the weight makes it a little bit more challenging. but it's not necessary. It's challenging all by itself. Pull the abs in. Keep the abs pulled in to help you lift back up. You should relax your abs right at the very end when you straighten your back. Don't forget the straightening of the back part. Moving slowly, mindfully, making it challenging. Moving too fast is sometimes only done because our muscles are weak. If you do 3 slowly, it's better than doing 10 quickly. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, come back. Release the weights. All the way to the mat. Legs up in the air. If your arms beside you, belly. Actually, if you want, you have a weight again. Hold it down low on your belly, over the navel, or 2. Do this with straight legs or knees slightly bent. Lift your hips off the mat. Yes, weights make a big difference. It's not so easy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hug your knees in. Rock. Keep hugging and rocking. I'm going to go get a little towel. I've been wanting to show you this for the ball stuff. We can do it here as well. So, if it's hard for you because of shoulders to put your fingers behind your head, fingertips, fingertips behind your head. You might be able to do it with one arm, but then the arm that's holding your head is going to get very tired. What you can do is you can take a skinny bath towel as well. Skinny meaning not thick and fluffy, but thinner and longer. And you put it under your head. You see my elbows are out to the side. And if it's a bath towel, your hands would be out even further. Oh, you can't see that. Your hands would be out, might be out even further out to here. So you don't have to reach up above your head, and that can challenge your shoulders. But hold on to the edges of the towel, and let's do 3-part crunches this way. Instead of fingers behind your head, you can use the towel, and you lift, and you lift, and you lift, and you lower back down. The towel might slide down your head a little bit because you're laying on it, but that's okay. It'll still support the back of your head, and it won't aggravate your shoulders if you have to be careful of shoulders. Okay, keep going. 3-part crunches. A little bit more, as far as you can without sitting up, of course. And come slowly back down. Control the lower as well as making the lift slow. Be sure you start with the towel, maybe a little bit right at the top of your head, because it will slide down your head. You want to keep it so it'll stay behind your head as you lift. One more time. Okay, let's do the low abs sequence. We'll do 5 of everything. Well, we do both, low and upper abs. You start with your knees. You can start with your knees bent. And you can end this way. This can be your starting and ending position. You're going to bring your legs up to your chest and hug them, lift them up, lower down, straight legs, or back to this starting position, especially if you have to be careful with your back. Or if, as you do it, you find that the back is starting to not be happy, then do it from this starting and stopping position. And we keep adding on this sequence, as you know if you've done it with me before. I'm going to move down a little bit so I can reach my arms overhead. And again, elbows can be out to the side, arms don't have to reach straight overhead. Full version or legs straight. Again, if you need to be careful, backs or even hips. Start with your knees bent. And end with your knees bent. You don't have to slide them straight. Anyhow, keep your head down. Bring your knees to your chest. Bring your arms up. Pull your knees in. A little stretch there. Inhale your legs up to the ceiling. Arms back to starting position, whatever that is for you. And legs back to starting position, whatever that is for you. You squeeze your legs together if they're straight. It makes it a little bit better for the back because you're squeezing those glute muscles a little bit. And again, 2, keep your head down, arms up, hug, arms overhead, legs up, legs back to starting position. 3, move this slowly. You should be on 3, not 10. I don't think you'd be at 10. Down. 4. If you get your legs or your feet back to starting position before I do, that's okay. Just stay there. Just rest for a second. 5. But don't rush right into doing the next one. Try to stay with us. Now we're going to lift our head, chin or forehead to knees, nose to knees, however, thinking about it, however it makes sense to you. Arms still overhead, or however you're going. Arms, feet, legs in your starting position. Bring your knees up. Bring your head up. And lower your head. Legs up. Arms back to starting position. And legs back to starting position. This is 2. Slowly. Legs up, head down. Arms back. Legs down. 3. You can always put a blanket overhead too. That way you don't have to worry about your arms going all the way down. 4. Blocks, pillows, or something. Make it easier on your shoulders that way. 5. Now, we're going to reach past the outside of our legs. Even keeping the knees together, lifting the head, but you're not going to grab around your legs. You're going to pull them in using only muscle, but you are going to pull your knees in toward your chest using muscle. Your starting position, knees up, head up, press past your legs. Bring your knees in close. And then legs up, arms back to starting position, legs back to starting position. 2. Starting 2. Legs up. Back to starting position. Rest there if you get there before I do. 3. 4. 5. And you're going to reach between your knees, separating your knees and touching your feet. Knees up. You're at your starting position. Knees up, head lifted, touch your feet. Legs up, back together. Legs down, starting position. 2. 3. 4. 5. This next one, we're only going to do 3 of each. It's a sided one. Your knees are going to come up and go right as you lift. Slide your hands along the left side, the left leg, forward to the left. The knees angle a little bit to the right. Please don't overdo it. Just angle your knees a little bit. Your back stays flat. Your starting position. Bring your knees up a little bit to the right. Press forward and to the left. Knees back center, head down, arms back to starting, legs up, legs down. Knees left, press forward and to the right a little bit. Knees center, head down, arms back, legs up, legs just starting. That's 1. This is 2. Reach. And to the left with the knees a little bit. Reach. I'm going to turn so you can see my angle is not real big. This is the last one. To the right. And knees left. Make sure you push your low back down when you lower your legs, whether you're doing it with knees bent or legs straight. Hug both knees in, rock side to side, massage your back. Come up to seated. Legs straight forward. Wait. We're just going to do one side because some of you may just have one weight. So, lean back. Put one weight on your right leg, your thigh above your knee. Please don't put weights on the lower part of the leg, below the knee. Above the knee. Lift that leg straight up. And lower back down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, this works the abs as well. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change sides. Legs straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change sides on the right leg again. Bring the knee to the chest. Straighten it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, again, you don't have to use weights. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come over onto your side. Put the top leg behind the bottom leg. The bottom leg comes a little forward to get it out of the way. Top foot behind, foot flat, knee up. Not enclosed, just so it can be flat. You can do this. We've done it. We usually do it without weights, so you know you can do it without weights. But you have to, if you're going to use weights, you have to at least prop your head in your hand. You really can't do it laying all the way down. Or you can come up on your forearm and have the weight down a little further, closer to the knee, but not on the knee. Keep the legs straight. Point the toes down. So your heel is higher than your toes. Doesn't have to be a lot. Keep the foot flexed and the toes pointing down as you lift and lower that leg. 1, touch your toes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point your toes. Keep the leg a little lifted. Bring the knee up toward your chest. 1, bring it back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change sides. Remember not to sink into your shoulder. Neck and shoulder don't meet. Top leg behind, bottom leg is straight, toes point down. Weight on the inner thigh. Lift. 1. If you can get it closer to the knee, it's more of a challenge than if you have it up closer to the hip joint. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point the toes, keep the leg a little lifted, bring the knee up to the chest. 1, leg about parallel to the mat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lie on your belly. Lie down. Stack your hands, forehead on your stacked hands. Remember, even if you can, even if you really want to, you do not lift up high. You keep it low. Lift your arms, keep your forehead stuck to your hands, lift your chest, lift straight legs. The top of your thighs won't come off the mat. Your lower rib won't come off the mat. And lower slowly back down. Slowly lift. Slowly lower. Little lift. Please don't jerk up and be real high with your shoulders and your legs. Go back down. Move slowly. Keep it low, even though you might be able to lift high. This is for the whole back, not just the low back. If you lift up high, everything happens in the low back. If you keep it lower, you're working more of a nice curve. You're working the whole back. That's what we want with this. Excuse me. Slow lift. Inhale, lift if you want. You can exhale, lower if you want. slow. Last lift. Slowly lower. Work your way back to child's pose. Excuse me. Buttocks to your hips, arms stretching forward. Stretch your back. You do not want the back to tighten. You want to tone it. You don't want to tighten it. It's really important. Come up to your hands and knees. Through the buttock muscle. Supports the low back and the SI joints. Bend your knee 90 degrees. Left leg up. Flex your foot a little bit. Bottom of the foot facing the ceiling. Keep your right elbow straight. Press up just a little bit. Feel that muscle work and release just a little bit. Feel it release. Not all the way down. Starting position. Press up a little bit. Release a little bit. 3, 4. Notice how far I'm moving. Notice how far I'm not moving. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Left leg. Right leg. Sorry. Press up. 1, 2, 3. Elbows straight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower down. Separate your knees. Sit back on your heels. Reach your arms forward. Stretch your back. Hold it. And that is the end of core. Staying for gentle. It'll be about 30 seconds. Gentle is always really good after core. It's always really good. And we just don't like being gentle with ourselves. We're going to focus on some back stretching. A little bit of the routine we do every Tuesday, but not all of it. And a little bit of other things. So, you're back. Knees bent. And if you're currently having back pain, bring one knee up at a time. Bring your knees up to your chest. Pull them in. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Pull them in. And then relax. Let your arms go straight, but keep a hold of your legs. Let your knees separate as you pull them in. And relax them. Let your arms go straight-ish. And again, pull in. Stretch. Try to keep your back relaxed. Don't let it arch up. Again, a few more times. Pull it in. And relax. Slowly. And relax. A couple more times. In. Relax. Again, pull it in. And relax. Put your hands around the tops of your knees. Do have your legs together. Pull them in, circle them left while keeping them pulled in just a little bit left. See how far I'm going, not real far. And then let them go out you circle over to the right, just a little bit, angled to the right. Pull them in to the right. Just hold in as you take them over to the left. Go out as you take them back to the right. And we'll keep going in this direction for a while. Not a big angle. Keep your feet together. If your knees want to come apart a little bit, that's okay. Especially when you take them sideways. Slow and gentle, releasing tight back muscles, massaging the back. Use your arms, keep your abs relaxed, keep your back relaxed, your shoulders relaxed. One more time, all the way. When they're pulled in, stop right there. Hold them in a little bit. Hold it, relax your back. And keeping them pulled in, take them over to the right just a little bit. My left side doesn't lift. And then let them go away from you. Let your arms straighten, still holding the knees. Take them across. And then pull them in with to the left. Keep them pulled in as you take them to the right. And let them go away from you as you take them across to the left. Keep going in that direction for a while. Slowly, mindfully. Gentle massage for the back, gentle stretch for tight muscles. There's pain, there's tightness, and that's comfortable either. Tightness protects the back. It doesn't know what's causing the pain. It's an automatic thing. Sometimes if you can release that tightness, the pain will become less. One more time, the whole rotation. When your knees are pulled in, center, just increase the pull just a little bit. Relax your back, let it sink down. Let your knees come apart. Shoulders relaxed, arm muscles working. Now bring your knees toward each other and push them away from you, away from your belly, keeping your hands on your knees. And then separate them from each other. Not a big separation, not as far as you could go normally. And then bring them slowly back in as they come to your belly. Keep them together as you push it out and circle them wide away from each other. Not big wide. See, I can go here. We're not going there. We're just going just a little bit apart. Together and away. Circle them back in. Together. Moving this way for a little bit. Next time they're together and towards your belly, then let them go apart, still keeping them pulled in, and then push them away. Bring them together when they're away, and together and in. So we're circling the opposite direction. Little circles. Separate your legs a whole big lot, a whole big bunch lot. Feet on the mat. Roll to your side, facing the camera. Whatever side that is, I'm going to probably end up saying side, but I'm going to try to not say side. Bring your knees up. So it's a 90-degree angle. Your legs aren't down here somewhere with your knees bent. They're up. Your heels are tucked back a little bit. They're not out here. They're tucked back. Bring your hands together. This is one time when it's nice to have a, where did I put my blocks? Here they are. A pillow or a block, because you have shoulder here, right? There's a distance between your neck and your head, so you end up laying down, and, you know, that may not feel comfortable, but if you put a block or a pillow underneath your head, about whatever the width is of your length of your shoulder, then this is more comfortable. Your arms straight forward. This is like a clamshell. Lift it up, just up to pointing to the ceiling, and bring it back. Lift it up, and bring it back. This is for the upper back, lifting it up, strengthening it a little bit. Don't push that hand back. Don't feel anything on the top of the shoulder. Two more. Now in this case, you do need to remove that pillow or block under your head and take the arm all the way up and back. You can bend the elbow, shift this left shoulder a little bit, and you can have a blanket back there, so if you need to get up, put a blanket back so that your arm can rest in a blanket, or you can have your elbow bent, not have it reaching straight out. It could be down, the elbow could be down closer to your back. Let your hand rest on your side, twist, hold it. I'll do it from this angle so you can see if your elbow is bent. That way you're not pulling on the shoulder as much, the right shoulder, the top shoulder. Your hand can be out. Right? Hold it. Just a little bit longer. This is a nice twisting pose. It's okay. Generally okay if you have bulging or ruptured disc because you're lying flat. Gravity isn't compressing your discs, so it's giving you space for the twist. Okay, bring your arm back. Push yourself up. Just seated. Legs forward. Shift your hips. Bend your knees. Over onto the other side. Shifting around carefully. Or just straighten your legs and roll over onto the other side. You don't have to see the camera. You've already done this. Knees are up. Have something. You can even put your yeah, if you have to. If you don't have anything for under your head, no block or anything, you can bend your arm and let your hand rest on your upper arm, your wrist, your head, I mean. And just have the left arm forward and lift it up and bring it back. It's perfectly acceptable. It's probably better than having your head down and shoulder all crunched up. Just straight, rotating the whole torso, lifting up the whole torso. Okay, if you're on a block, remove it. If you're on a pillow, remove it. Take that top arm back. Again, if it's hard, keep your knees up. Don't let them move away. You can even hold them with your hand that's closest to the knees. If it's hard to get your whole arm back, you can rest it over a block or something. Don't let it hang out there in space, though. Bend your elbow, bring your elbow down closer to your body. It doesn't have to be up here. Do what works for your shoulder. Hold the stretch. Try to relax your back. As you go into this, if you're experiencing back pain, your back may tighten up, which will prevent movement, which can pull something else. So try to relax your back. And if this is just something you cannot do right now, then just don't do it. You can just have your knees up and be on your side, let your hand rest on your side, maybe let your elbow drop a little bit toward the back. You can go back onto your back and rock a little bit side to side. And release and roll back onto your back. Knees bent. Make sure your back is flat. Bring your knees up. Separate your knees. Move onto your feet to the ceiling. Happy baby, dead bug, whatever you want to call it. And if you're more flexible and if your back feels it wants to, you can bring your hands up to the bottoms of your feet. Your knees are wide. If that's too much for your shoulders, for the stretch, wrap your arms around behind. Hold your calves with your hands so your legs can't drop down. You don't want your legs to drop down. You want to get a stretch in the hamstrings, which go all the way up to your back. And then tight hamstrings can affect your back. Try to relax. Let your knees come down toward your shoulders, the sides of your ribs. Wherever you're doing it. Relax the legs, but don't let the knees bend. Hold them up with your hands, wrapping your hands around the outside of the legs, holding your calves if you need to, pulling down your hands. Hold the pose. Great back and hip stretch. Camera's going to freeze for a moment, but nothing is wrong. And release. Feet on the mat, roll to your side. Come to seated. Left leg straight forward, right foot touching your left inner thigh. Slowly and carefully stretch down over your left leg. Hold the stretch. Try to relax. It's okay if the left knee is bent a little bit. Excuse me. Slowly back up. Put your left leg out to the left. Right heel stays in. Carefully stretch over your right foot. Try not to lean toward the right knee. Hold the stretch. Slowly come back up. Lean over to the right. Pull your left heel in. Stretch your quadriceps. This is also really important if you were in core. Stretching the quadriceps. If you don't have time to come to the gentle class, stretch these muscles, particularly this one on your own. Slowly come back up. Release your leg and come back up. Right leg straight forward. Left foot touching your right inner thigh. Carefully stretch down over your right leg and always put support underneath your left knee. If you need it, stretch. I was in Eureka. We went to Crystal Waters, a place that has all the stones. It's a really dangerous place to me. And I had some things in mind, and I always got more than what I had. Always get more than what I had in mind. Not just because they're pretty, because of the theoretical benefits. They do have quite a collection. Slowly back up. Leg out to the right. Left heel in. Stretch over your left foot. And hold it. slowly back up. And lean to the left. You pull your right heel in, right knee away. Feel a stretch. Front of the thigh. Maybe the hip flexors a little bit. Again, no sharp stabbing pain, especially hip flexor. And release the foot. Up. Seated, cross-legged, left leg in front. Inhale, lengthen, reach forward, down, stretch your hips, stretch your back, hold the stretch. Slow up, twist left. If you already did this twist with me in the other class, then let's change it a little bit for you. Bring your head forward towards your right shoulder. Lift your head up a little bit and tilt the top of your head past to the back of your shoulder. Hold it. Try to stay straight. Feel it in your neck. Relax your shoulders. Hold the pose. And bring your head to neutral and untwist. Right leg in front. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach forward and down. Stretch. Hold the pose. up, twist to the right, keep your left buttock down, try not to lean. If you've done this twist already, then turn your head forward. So your chin is towards your left shoulder. Lift your chin up a little bit, then tilt the top of your head back past the shoulder. Don't lift your chin up too far. You don't want to compress the back of the neck, just a little bit. Tilt it, hold it. And come back to center. Hands in namaste. One big breath. Inhale, arms out to the side and up. And exhale, hands